Welcome to Pioneer's main gym. Pioneer fans, Pioneer Varsity Basketball is live and on the air. We are live at the Pioneer main gym where it is Pioneer versus Skyline. The varsity contest, the JV contest just ended, and the Pioneer JV team able to push it into overtime and win there. And the Pioneer freshman team wins. So the varsity team looking to make it a sweep today, but of course Skyline will have something to say about that. Pioneer is 2-1 on the season as they beat Farmington in the first game we were able to broadcast of the season, 63 to 45. Then they beat Monroe 60 to 40. They fell to Temperance Bedford back on the 13th. That was a 55 to 51 loss. Skyline over on the other side is 2-0. They beat Northville. That was a home game for them, 48 to 34. Then they were able to beat Saline 57 to 51. That was back on December 13th. So that is where they are. Taking a look at some statistics for both of these squads. If I can pull away here. Taking a look at your top point leaders for Pioneer is Freisteller has 37 points throughout the season so far. Christian has 23 for Pioneer. Third place is tied for 18 by Mutinda and Juhas. And in fourth place with 17 points is Strauss, the top five scorers for Pioneer. Top rebounder is Freisteller as well with 19 rebounds, 17 for Mutinda, 16 for Christian, and 12 for Sampa from the guard position. Assists, it is Sampa leading the way with 10 assists, 8 assists for Freisteller, 4 for Juhas, and then 2 for Strauss and Powell. Blocks, 6 blocks by the opposing team, 4 for Pioneer. Freisteller has 3 of those blocks out there. So, good job. Totals averaging for Pioneer 57.7 points a game, 48 for the opponents. Taking a look over at Skyline, the Eagles, as they are taking a look, leading the way in percentages. Silkworth has been shooting 67% from the field. Same with Coling. Taking a look. In the game versus Northville, it was Coling who led the way with 17 total points, 10 points by Still, 8 points by Roebuck, 4 points by Silkworth and Solomon, and then 2 points for Alquati. And then in the game, the recent game that they won, leading the way again was Coling with 24 points. As that other game was versus Saline. So again, Coling led the way. He's number 3, so Pioneer fans need to keep an eye on him as he had 24 points, 19 for Still, 6 for Roebuck, 4 for Silkworth, 2 for Abdulaziz, and 2 for Alquati. So that is how defensively it went down. As we are getting ready to go, 37 seconds counting down. We are happy that you can join us. Final game for the men's basketball team at home before the winter break. We will have 2 more games for you, well, hopefully 2 more games, at least 1 more game after this. We will have the Bedford game. James Wiseman will be helping us out 3 o'clock. Pioneer Hockey's game versus Bedford was rescheduled for 3 o'clock Monday at the Ice Cube. I work until later than that, but James Wiseman will help out. Student section by Skyline to the left, cheering on their team. Both squads now, Pioneer lined up to the right. We hope to have Pioneer women's basketball will be playing at Eastern Michigan. And we'll hope to broadcast that. I will reach out to Eastern Michigan this weekend. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, the playing of the national anthem. As you can tell, huge crowd in attendance today for this crosstown rivalry matchup, Pioneer versus Skyline, between these two varsity squads. All time, Skyline is 175 wins, 91 losses. Tournament state record, 20 wins and 13 losses. I don't have that for Pioneer, but we're getting ready to go for the starting lineups. John across the way, the public address announcer. As we're hoping for a good game here to finish out the calendar year of home games for the men's basketball teams. Big student crowd across the way for Pioneer. Lots of Skyline students to our left. We'll see if our camera shakes a little bit. That's the students jumping up and down. As John welcomes everyone.
The players, coaches, students, parents, alumni, and fans of the Skyline Eagles to tonight's game against your Ann Arbor Pioneers. Here are the starting lineups.
Now here comes the starting lineups.
Number 3, senior Sam Coley.
Coley, starting for Skyline, comes out.
For Pioneer number 10, junior forward Nate Freisteller.
Freisteller comes out for Pioneer.
For Skyline number 13, senior forward Ben Still.
Still comes out for Skyline.
For Pioneer, number 0, senior center Antonio Christian.
Christian comes out for Pioneer.
For Skyline, number 23, sophomore Noah Silkworth.
Silkworth starting for Skyline.
For Skyline, number 1, senior guard Jaden Potts.
Potts coming out for Skyline as well.
For Pioneer, number 3, senior guard Miles Powell.
Powell comes out for Pioneer.
For Skyline, senior guard is Abdul Aziz.
Abdul Aziz comes out for Skyline.
And for Pioneer, number 35, he's a senior, a guard, it's Reed Yuhas.
And Yuha starting for Pioneer.
The head coach of Skyline, Mike Lovelace, assisted by Keith Wayne.
Head coach for Skyline is Mike Lovelace, assistant coach Keith Wade. For Pioneer, of course, is Coach Marion, assisted by Coach Kucera.
Gino Walker and Chuck Phillipson.
As we are getting ready to go here. As, well, looks like we have a bunch of students and parents standing. Hopefully, it looks like they're going to sit down there. Perfect. All righty. Getting ready to go. That tipped back and out of bounds. That is going to be Skyline ball. As Abdul Aziz will inbound on the near sideline. Abdul Aziz Gets it all the way back to Still. Still brings it over half court for Skyline. Still on the near wing. Gets it over into the near corner for Silkworth. Silkworth kicks it now, trying to drive down Abdulaziz. Gets it over, coming in Still. There's a shot by Abdulaziz, and that is good for two. Or no, that's a three-pointer, excuse me. So Skyline up 3-0. Here comes Pioneer. Sampa bringing it over half court. Sampa gets it over to Freisteller on the near wing. Freisteller kicks it back over to Christian. Christian over to Powell. Powell on that far sideline. Powell has it poked away, coming the other direction. Here comes Skyline, as that was Potts who got it in. Now the other direction. Here comes Uhas. Uhas over to Powell on the far sideline. Into the far corner. Three for Freisteller. Wouldn't go down. Rebound by Coling. Headed the other direction. And on the far wing. Over to Abdulaziz on the near wing. And dumped back. Trying to move it over. Coling gets it over into the far corner. Gets it back. Coling 4-3 off the front of the rim. Freisteller with the rebound. That back over to Sampa for Pioneer. 3-0. Skyline with the lead. 6:47 left to go here in the first quarter. Sampa over on the far wing now, getting it, trying to get over to Freisteller, stolen away by Potts. Potts into the paint, whistle before the shot though. That is going to be a foul. The officials talk things over. That is going to be a foul on Sampa. So Sampa picks up his first foul. That's going to be an intentional foul. 2 shots in the ball for Skyline. As first one up by Powell off the back of the rim, would not go. As he'll have another one coming. Potts puts it up, and Potts missed both of them. And Skyline with the ball, up 3 points. Potts to inbound. Potts gets it over to Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz brings it ahead for Skyline over half court. Sampa picks him up from there. Abdulaziz dribbles to his right, gets a screen. Now picks it up, has it over to Still in the near corner. Still trying to get into the lane. Puts it up, puts it in. Still with his first points of the game. That makes it 5-0. Skyline with the lead at 6:15. Here comes Sampa over half court, being watched by Abdulaziz. Sampa dribbles to his left, gets it over to Uhas. Uhas to the free throw line, drives the lane, and a whistle. That is going to put Sampa to the line. Abdulaziz picks up his first foul. 1 foul on Pioneer, 1 foul on Skyline. Pioneer, they'll say, wasn't in the act of shooting. That back out to Freisteller. Over to Christian on the near wing. Christian hands off to Sampa, top of the key. Sampa, bounce pass underneath to Christian. Christian puts it up with the right hand. Off the side of the rim, falls away, wouldn't go down. Here come Potts the other direction. Potts into the near corner, getting it over to Abdulaziz. Little hot for him, but he gets it back. Poked away by Uhas, and Uhas picks up the foul. Christian comes over, talking to Uhas, making sure everything is good. 2 fouls on Pioneer, 1 on Skyline. As Potts to inbound, baseline right. That comes all the way back to Abdulaziz. Sampa waiting for him at the top of the key. Abdulaziz gets it over to Still on the near wing. Bounce pass underneath the Potts. Potts puts it up. Potts puts it in. Potts with 2 points. That is 7 for Skyline. Pioneer scoreless so far with 5:29 left to go. Sampa brings it ahead over half court. Sampa. Bounce pass over to Christian, back over. Now here comes Freisteller. Freisteller moves it over to Sampa on the near wing. Sampa works his way across the arc. Sampa bounce pass underneath. Over to Christian. He's fouled in the act of shooting. 2 fouls on Pioneer. That should be the second on Skyline. That is on Silkworth, number 23. That will put Christensen to the line, shooting 2. 5 minutes, 11 seconds left to go. Christian trying to put it up and put it in. That is the first points for Pioneer, his first point of the game. Second shot coming for Christian. That one rims out and picked up by Scott. Still brings it ahead. Still over half court down the near wing. Still. Now working his way around the arc. Gets it over. Powell watching him. Christian with the steal. Trying to get it over to Freisteller. That off of Skyline. Pioneer will inbound baseline right. 7-1. Skyline with the lead. 4:57 left to go. Sampa brings it in for Pioneer. Abdulaziz providing full court pressure. Sampa over half court. Sampa bounce pass over to Christian. And over to Powell. Powell has it knocked away. That is going to be a whistle. That is going to be a foul on Coling. That is going to be the third. Or no, they're going to call that foul on Powell for Pioneer, excuse me. And coming the other direction, here comes Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz for Skyline. 6-point lead, calling out signals, working against Sampa. He puts it into the near corner for Potts. Potts picks up his dribble. Potts puts it underneath and up and in for Coling. That's his first points of the game. He has 2. 9 points for Skyline, 1 for Pioneer. 4:20 left to go. Sampa brings it up the near sideline. Now goes over half court, over the blockades. Abdulaziz watching him. Gets it over to Freisteller. There's a whistle. Coling does now pick up his first foul. 3 on Pioneer, 3 on Skyline. Freisteller to inbound on the far sideline. Gets it back to Sampa in the backcourt. Sampa. Again, Abdulaziz guarding him right off the get-go. Sampa gets it over on the near wing to Strauss. Strauss over to Uhas. Uhas trying to make his way around to the free throw line. Uhas back out to Sampa. Sampa over to Freisteller on the near wing. Over to Christian. Christian with the 12-footer. That knocked away, bringing it the other direction. That ball on the ground, trying to steal it away as Uhas. Uhas comes the other direction. Uhas at the top of the key. Uhas dribbles down on the, gets it over to Sampa. Sampa for 3. That off the rim, knocked down. Uhas trying to get to it. That pulled back down. Headed the other direction is Roebuck. Roebuck over to Abdulaziz on the far wing. Abdulaziz drives the lane and puts it up. Wouldn't go off the back of the rim, but a whistle. That is going to be Sampa's second foul. Condi in for Pioneer, giving Sampa a breather after Sampa picked up his second foul. As that ball inbounded, Skyline has it. Abdulaziz as Conde watching him now over on the near wing. Got it over to Roebuck, trying to get it underneath. That knocked away, trying to get it into Still. That goes out of bounds. 3:20 left to go. 8-point lead by Skyline, excuse me. As Roebuck brings it in, there's a three-pointer by Abdulaziz, and he hits it. Abdulaziz with his second three-pointer. That is 6 points for him, 12 points for Skyline, 1 for Pioneer. And coach wants to talk it over. Timeout called. We'll take it with him. How about a little push on? 3 minutes, 9 seconds left to go here in the first. And Skyline with the 12-1 lead, 11-point lead for the Eagles over Pioneer. As both teams break the huddle. Strauss to inbound, baseline right. Strauss over to Uhas. Uhas brings it ahead over half court. Uhas. Top of the key, Uhas comes over, now gets it over to Strauss. Strauss over to the free throw line, back over to Uhas. Uhas on the near wing. Uhas into the paint, gets it back over to Freisteller. Freisteller on the baseline over into the far corner for Uhas. Uhas on the far sideline, over to Strauss, top of the key. Gets it over to Conde for a 3, then off the back of the rim. Rebound, battle for it. There's a whistle. Coling picks up his second foul. Freisteller to the line. He is shooting 2. 4 fouls apiece on both teams. Freisteller dribbles, puts up the first shot, and it is good. Freisteller with his first point of the game. Down to a 10-point lead. Silkworth in for the Eagles. Freisteller bends the knees, puts up the shot, puts it in. Freisteller with 2. It is now down to a 9-point lead by Skyline. Quickly ahead. 3-pointer put up, and 3-pointer put in by Potts. He has 5 points. Back to a 12-point lead by Skyline. Uhas has it top of the key. Uhas comes down, kicks it over to Freisteller on the foul ring. Freisteller drives into the paint, puts back a falling back 2-pointer and hits it. Freisteller has 4 points. Back down to a 10-point lead now. On the near wing, still has it, still. Into the near corner, still. Working his way around the arc. Strauss watching him. They get that over to Roebuck. Roebuck back over to Abdulaziz. Roebuck on the near wing. Into the near corner for Potts. Potts for 3. That off the back of the rim. Conde trying to get to it. That will go over to Pioneer off of Abdulaziz. Skyline 15. Pioneer 5. Passernick in for Pioneer, giving Christian a blow. Strauss inbounds it to Uhas. Uhas brings it up the near wing. Uhas picked up by Roebuck, gets it over to Strauss. Strauss being watched by Still. Bounce pass over to Conde, just off the top of the key. Conde drives down to the baseline. Conde puts it up, trying to get it off glass. Freisteller with the rebound. That will be a foul on Abdulaziz. That is going to be the 5th foul on Skyline. That is his 2nd foul. Freisteller to the line. 1 minute, 33 seconds left to go here in the first. Freisteller puts it up. That off the front, the side of the rim wouldn't go. One more for Freisteller. As Aquati comes in. And up, and Freisteller hits the next one. 5 points for Freisteller. 9-point lead for Skyline. Still quickly ahead. Still on the near wing. Still has that tipped away. Grabbing it. Here comes Pioneer. That grab back. And no, that'll be over and back. As Skyline got it, threw it back. And over and back to Pioneer. 1 minute, 23 seconds left to go. Pioneer down by 9. Strauss inbound. Right in front of the scorer's bench. Gets it back over to Uhas. Uhas over half court for Pioneer. Uhas being watched by Roebuck. Gets a screen from Freisteller. Picked up by Silkworth. Now over to Passernick. Passernick on the far wing. Over to Strauss. Top of the key. Strauss drives down the side of the lane. There is a whistle. Aquati picks up the foul. That is the 6th foul on Skyline. As that is going to be Pioneer ball, much to the confusion of Potts, who was expecting to inbound it. Uhas gets it over to Conde. Conde drives the baseline, puts it up, puts it in. And one, I believe. Yep, and one. So Conde gets his first points of the game. That is the 7th foul. Pioneer already in the bonus. Shot coming for Conde. That off the rim. Rebound by Silkworth. Couldn't hear that. Quickly ahead. Potts puts it up. That wouldn't go, but he picks up a foul. Shooting 2. Uhas picks up his 2nd foul. Skyline 15, Pioneer 8, 7-point lead. Potts to the line to shoot 2. First shot is up and no good. One more shot coming for Potts. Potts bends the knees, puts it up, and rattles around and down. Potts has 6 points. And ahead to Uhas. as it is a 8-point lead. Foul called and is going to be on Al-Quadi. Al-Quadi picks up his second foul. Silkworth goes to the bench. That is going to be the 8th foul. Should be the 8th foul. Pioneer is in the bonus. 5 fouls on Pioneer. They didn't put it up, so maybe it's just 7 on Skyline. But Pioneer in the bonus nonetheless. Timeout call. So 53.7 seconds left to go. Let's play a quick message from the MHSAA.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Pioneer to the line. I believe this should be 1-and-1 as they break the huddle. Uhas to the line. Uhas bends his knees, puts it up. That off the front of the rim. Uhas gets his own rebound, kicks it over to Freisteller. Freisteller at the free throw line. That batted away. Al-Quadi has it. Al-Quadi coming down into the paint, puts it up off the right hand, off the rim. But a foul that will be Pioneer's 6th foul. Pasternak picks up his first foul. One more, and Skyline will be in the bonus. There's Al-Quadi. To the line, puts up the first shot, puts it in. 1 point for Al-Quadi. And still comes back in, replacing Coling for Skyline. Next shot coming for Al-Quadi. That up and good. He has 2 points. So 18-8, 10-point lead by Skyline. Quickly at Conde, puts it into the near corner. Three-pointer, rattles around and down for Powell. As it's now a 7-point lead for Skyline. Potts with the ball for Skyline. Loses it. Conde gets the rebound. Picks up the loose ball. Conde brings it ahead for Pioneer. Conde for 3. That off the rim. Freisteller with the rebound. Freisteller puts up with the left hand. Wouldn't go. Tipped back by Strauss. Now pulled down by Aquati. Aquati trying to get it up. Roebuck with it. Gets it underneath the Potts. Potts puts it up. Rolled around. Got his own rebound. Wouldn't fall. Wouldn't go. Falls off the rim. And Freisteller with the rebound and a whistle underneath. Potts picks up his second foul. 8 fouls on Skyline. 4.1 seconds left to go here in the first. Pioneer. Freisteller with an opportunity to get it down to a 5-point lead by Skyline. First one up by Freisteller. That off the back of the rim. Missed the front of the one-on-one. There's a shot by Al-Quadi, and that came closer than Pioneer probably would have liked at the end of the first. It is Skyline 18, Pioneer 11. Let's play a little push on to keep you fired up, then we'll head back to the second. To 11 as Pioneer down by 7 points. Go for it. Taking a look right now, Skyline, 6 points for Abdulaziz, 6 points for Potts, 2 for Still, and 2 for Al-Quadi. On Pioneer side, Freisteller with 5, 3 for Powell, 2 for Conde, and 1 for Christian. Pioneer to inbound. Strauss right in front of us. As it is going to be Pioneer on the inbound pass. Strauss inbounds over to Conde. Conde brings it ahead for Pioneer, working against Aquati. And in, down, driving the lane, that off the rim, pulled down by Aquati. Now coming ahead. Now Aquati with a dish over to Still. Still puts up the hook, wouldn't go down. Rebound by Freisteller. Skyline up by 7:38 left to go here in the second. Over to Freisteller for three. That off the rim. Strauss with the rebound as there was a whistle blown. That is going to be a foul. Shooting 1 and 1. Williams picks up his first foul. So Pioneer to the line. That will now put, that is the 10th foul. That will put Pioneer in the double bonus. First shot, so shooting 2. So I saw the official put up 2 fingers, thought it was 1 and 1. Coling comes back in. Sampa comes back in for Pioneer. Second shot for Strauss. As that up and good for Strauss. That is his first point of the game. 6-point lead by Skyline. Bringing ahead is Potts. Potts has it into the paint. Potts loses the handle and picked up. Trying to move it over Williams. Now spinning. Potts has it. And that is going to go over Pioneer's way. As I believe that might have been a travel. Pioneer. Inbound. Strauss gets over to Sampa. Sampa brings it ahead for Pioneer. Down by 6 points. 7:15 left to go before halftime. Sampa has Still coming out to guard him. Gets it over to Strauss. Strauss over into the near corner. Conde drives the baseline. Whistle. And a foul. It's been a foul-laden game so far. Shot coming up for Conde. Up and in for Conde. He hits his first free throw. He has 5.
Number 12, now in for Skyline.
Second shot coming, trying to get it down to a 4-point lead. That shot is up and rattles around and good. Conde has 4. Now that brought ahead by Abdulaziz for Skyline. Abdulaziz dribbles to his right, puts it into the near corner. Working his way around is Ellerson. There's a shot 3-pointer and gathered in by Sampa. He has the rebound over half court. Sampa kicks it over to Freisteller. Freisteller drives the lane, trying to split the pair. And off the rim, Strauss trying to get the rebound. That pulled down by Williams. Here comes Skyline ahead by 4 and the ball. Over on the near wing is Still. Dribbles to his left. He's being watched by Strauss. Still comes back just inside of half court on the near wing. Gets a screen from Abdulaziz. Strauss works through that, kicking it back over to Coling. Coling steps back, puts up a long 2-pointer. Coling hits it. He has 4 points. 20 for Skyline, 14 for Pioneer. 6-point lead. 6:11 left to go here in the second. Sampa bringing ahead, full court pressure by Abdulaziz. Sampa comes up over to Conde on the near wing. Conde dribbles to his left, kicks that back over, working his way in Pasternak, but that's going to be a travel. That will go over to Christian. Comes in for Pioneer. Skyline with the 6-point lead and the ball. 5:58 left to go here in the second. Bringing ahead, here is Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz gets it over to Still. Still on the near wing, comes back over to Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz being watched by Sampa into the near corner. Shot off the rim as that was Ellerson with it, coming the other direction. Here comes Pioneer as Freisteller into the near corner. 3-pointer by Conde. And pulled down as Powell had the rebound but knocked away. Bringing it the other direction is Still. Has it on the near wing. Still dribbles into the near corner for Ellerson. Now back to Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz About 5 feet inside of half court. Abdulaziz dribbles to his left. Top of the key, picked up by Powell there. Now moves it over to Still, with Christensen watching him. Still on the near wing. Still dribbles to his right, kicks it back over. There's a three-pointer for Ellerson, and Ellerson hits it. He now has 3. 23-14 is the lead. 9-point lead by Skyline. Sampa brings it ahead. Sampa over half court, gets over to Freisteller on the near wing. Freisteller. Bounce pass over to Christian. Back over on the far side to Powell. Now three-pointer by Conde, dead on. That hit the rim, the glass, out of bounds. That is going to be Skyline ball. As Roebuck in for Skyline. 4:41 left to go before halftime. 23 points for Skyline, 14 for Pioneer. Abdulaziz over half court. Sampa picks him up from there. Abdulaziz, 4 pots for 3 from the far corner. Sampa with the rebound, bringing it ahead. Here comes Sampa over half court. Gets it over to Conde. Conde at the free throw line. Over to Freisteller for 3. Freisteller wouldn't go. And grabbed by Christian. Christian underneath. Gets it back over to Freisteller. Freisteller has it batted away. Good job by Powell to kick it out. Here's a 3 by Conde. Wouldn't go. Battle for it underneath. Freisteller trying to save it. Out of bounds. That will go over to Skyline. 4:08 left to go here in the second. 23-14. Skyline with the lead. Bringing it ahead. Abdulaziz gets that over to Coling. Coling coming over. Coling pointing out signals on the near wing. Coling looking for a screen. Now Coling dribbles to his left. Kicks that over to Still. Still on the far wing, being watched by Christian. Back to driving the lane, Ellerson over into the far corner. That shot off the rim by Coling, picked up. Here comes Sampa, head to Freisteller. Freisteller into the paint. Freisteller rims it in, spun it on the rim and down. 7 points for Freisteller, and it's back to a 7-point lead for Skyline. Still kicks that over to Roebuck. Now racing down is Coling. Coling. Step back, 2-pointer. Christian with the rebound. Ahead to Sampa. Sampa has it. Top of the key. Sampa now dribbles to his right. Shot from the right elbow. Puts it in. Sampa with his first points of the game. He has 2. It is now a 5-point lead for Skyline. 3 minutes left to go before halftime. Abdulaziz brings it ahead. Abdulaziz kicks it back over. Shot by Ellerson. And off the rim and down. Ellerson has 5, or was that a 3-point? That's a 3-point. Ellerson with 2 3-pointers, as that is now back out to a 8-point lead. Sampa ahead, kicks it over for Pioneer. Uhas on the near wing. Uhas gets it back over to Powell. Powell over to Sampa on the far wing. Sampa working against Abdulaziz, comes to the free throw line underneath to Christian. Christian puts it up and in. Christian with 3 points. Pioneer gets it back down to a 6-point lead by Skyline. Abdulaziz brings it ahead for Skyline. He has it on the near wing into the near corner. Shot there off the rim as Christian gets it over, and they'll say he stepped out of bounds. That is going to go over to Skyline. 2 minutes, 11 seconds left to go here in the second. 28 points for Skyline, 20 for Pioneer. As Skyline inbound baseline right, as they get it all the way back out to Abdulaziz just inside of half court. And moving over to Roebuck. Roebuck for 3. Roebuck hits the 3-pointer. That makes it 29-20, back to a 9-point lead by Skyline. Sampa over half court. Sampa drives the lane, now in along the far sideline, ahead to Christensen. Christian gets it up, puts it in. Christian with 5 points. And makes it 29 for Skyline, 22 for Pioneer. Coling has it on the near wing. Coling dribbles to his right. Coling kicks it back over. Abdulaziz with the 3-pointer. That off the rim. That will be Pioneer's ball. 7-point lead by Skyline, and a whistle. Substitutions happening as Mutinda coming in for Pioneer gives Christian a break. Forgive me, I do have another hockey team with a Christensen on the Michigan women's hockey team, so doing my best not to flip that. Please forgive me. Bringing it ahead is Sampa. Sampa. Bounce pass over to Strauss on the near wing. Strauss works his way around the arc. Strauss over to Mutinda. Mutinda over to Sampa on the near wing. Sampa calling out signals, top of the keys. Sampa steps back. Sampa gets a screen from Mutinda. Sampa now trying to, on the far elbow, Sampa gets it. Juhas for three. Juhas, that off the rim. That is going to be a whistle. That is going to be a foul on Mutinda. That is going to be shooting 1-1 now, as that puts Skyline in the bonus, Pioneer in the double bonus. Officials blow the whistle. They want to talk things over. So Alcati puts up the first, and off the back of the rim. Rebound by Mutinda. Bringing it is Sampa. Pioneer down by 7. Sampa goes right over half court. Working against Alcati. Now coming over on the far wing. Sampa on the far sideline. Kicks it over to Strauss. Strauss over to Juhas on the near wing. Juhas trying to work against Silkworth. Juhas drives the side of the lane. Dishes it over to Strauss. Strauss loses the handle. Bringing ahead is Roebuck. Here comes Skyline. Skyline with the 7-point lead and the ball. Driving the lane, still dishes it off to Silkworth. Wouldn't go. Strauss with the rebound. Here comes Sampa the other direction. 20 seconds left to go before halftime. Trying to get it ahead to Mutinda, who puts it in. Mutinda with his first points of the game. 29 for Skyline, 24 for Pioneer. 5-point lead. Skyline with the ball. Roebuck with it on the near sideline, being watched by Powell. Roebuck gets a screen. Now picks up the dribble, puts up a long two-pointer, and that will do it for halftime. At halftime, it is Pioneer 24 and Skyline 29. We'll step away, play a little push on, and a few messages from the MHSAA. We will have our intermission scoreboard report coming up at halftime. You're watching Pioneer Men's Varsity Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sport skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the Health and Safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
At the half, it is Skyline 29, Pioneer 24. Skyline had a 7-point lead at the end of the first half, 18-11. So Pioneers got it down to 5 points. Taking a look at Skyline, with 6 points is Abdul Aziz, 6 points for Ellerson, 6 points for Potts, 4 points for Coling, 3 points for Roebuck, 2 points for Alquati, and 2 points for Still. On the Pioneers side, it is 7 points for Freisteller, 5 points for Christian, 4 points for Conde, 3 points for Powell, 2 points for Sampa, 2 points for Mutinda, and a point for Strauss. And that's where we're at. If we take a look at the intermission scoreboard report, going all the way back to December 9th, it was Huron beating Saline by a score of 63-56. We know the Pioneer beat Monroe 60-40. Then also on the 9th, it was Temperance Bedford beating Dexter by a score of 46-44. Warren De La Salle beat Ypsilanti Lincoln 64-23. That was on the 10th. On the 13th, it was Skyline beating Saline 57-51. Huron beating Dexter 58-48, and we know that Pioneer fell by 2 points to Temperance Bedford. Other games going on today, full slate of games, as it is Temperance Bedford visiting Huron, Saline visiting Monroe, and Dexter visiting Ypsilanti Lincoln. Let's shift over to the SEC White. There we go, and these are all pulled off of the MHSAA.com site. And let's try and get that SEC White again. There we go. Now we'll search. And reset my date, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, so scores back from the ninth. It was South Lyon East beating Pinckney by a score of 78-47. Tecumseh beat Green Hills 66-48. It was Wayne Memorial beating Ypsilanti Community 70-55. That was on the 10th. Also on the 10th, it was Westland John Glenn falling to Jackson 71-53. On the 12th, it was Chelsea beating Jackson Northwestern 74-50. On the 13th, it was Jackson beating Lansing Sexton 82-69. Also on the 13th, it was Tecumseh beating Milan 42-34, and it was St. Francis de Sales from Ohio over Adrian 53-44. Other games going on today: Manchester is at Adrian, Jackson hosts Pontiac, and Ypsilanti Community hosts Detroit Cornerstone Health and Technology. As Let's Play push on one more time, then we will be back with your third quarter action. You're watching Pioneer Men's Varsity Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. It's a blackout for the Pioneer fans, all dressed in black shirts over across the way, just back behind the Pioneer bench. Skyline gathered up, getting last-minute instructions. Pioneer comes back out of the locker room. 30 seconds left of halftime as we're getting ready to go here in the third. Skyline 29, Pioneer 24, 5-point lead by the Eagles. It was as much as, I believe it got to a 12-point lead early in the first. As Pioneer out on the court, Freisteller, Christian, Sampa, Powell, and Uhas for Pioneer. On the Skyline side, it is Coling to inbound the ball as he gets that over to Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz brings it ahead. Abdulaziz down that far sideline being watched by Sampa. They get that back over to Coling. Coling gets it over to Still. Still has Powell watching him. Still comes to the free throw line, kicks that back to Potts. Potts now dishing it underneath. That put up and in by Coling. And one. So the basket counts. Christian picks up his first foul. Trying to make it a three-point play is Coling. Trying to put it up to a 8-point lead. Coling dribbles, bends his knees. That off the front of the rim, but rebound by Silkworth. Gets it back over to Potts. Potts underneath, trying to get it to Coling. That goes over Pioneer's way. Coling picks up the foul. That should be his third foul. Sampa brings it ahead. Skyline 31, Pioneer 24. Full court pressure by Potts. Back over to Freisteller, right over half court, getting it over to Christian. Christian double team back over to Freisteller on the far sideline. Freisteller hands it off to Sampa. Sampa just inside of half court. Sampa dribbles on the far wing over to Uhas. Uhas from the free throw line. That off the back of the rim. Wouldn't go down. Rebound by Freisteller. Freisteller over to Christian. Christian puts it up. Christian puts it in. 7 points for Christian. That is now a 5-point lead by Skyline, 31-26. 6:57 left to go. Still drives the lane. Puts it up with the right hand off the back of the rim. Battle for it in the near corner. Skyline with it. That kicked over to Coling. Coling gets it back. Dribbling around with it is Potts. Potts puts up a fall-away two-pointer. Coling with the rebound, knocked away from behind by Freisteller. Out of bounds. That is off of Pioneer, I believe. Indeed, that will be Potts. Inbounding baseline left for Skyline. Potts. It's that over to Still. Still driving down the baseline, puts it off glass and in. Still has 4 points. 33 points for Skyline, 26 for Pioneer. Sampa brings it up the far sideline, gets it back over to Freisteller as Potts continues to have full court pressure. Bounce pass over to Christian. Christian puts up a 12-footer and in. Christian now has 9 points. Pioneers got it down to a 5-point Skyline lead, 33-28. Abdulaziz has it on the far sideline, 6:02 left to go. Racing down, that's a whistle, and Pioneer gets the ball as that is a foul on Silkworth. That is Silkworth's second foul. 2 on Skyline, 1 on Pioneer. Sampa brings ahead. Abdulaziz in the backcourt. Sampa has it on the far sideline, calling out signals. Sampa now comes top of the key, gets it over to Powell, back over to Freisteller on the far wing. Freisteller backs down his man, kicks it over to Juhas, top of the key. Over to Sampa, just inside the far sideline. Sampa working against Abdulaziz, drives the lane, stops at the near elbow, kicks it back to Juhas. Juhas trying to get it over to Powell, and a little miscommunication. That goes out of bounds and over to Skyline. 5:31 left to go here in the third. 33 for Skyline, 28 for Pioneer. Abdulaziz brings the ball ahead for Skyline. Abdulaziz has Sampa watching him as Abdulaziz on the near wing. He kicks that over to Still. Still moves it over to Silkworth on the far wing. Back to Still, top of the key. Now Still hands it off over to Coling on the far wing. Abdulaziz, top of the key. Back over Still for 3, and that missed. Out of bounds over to Pioneer. 5:06 left to go here in the third. 33 for Skyline, 28 for Pioneer. Here comes Sampa. Abdulaziz in the backcourt, causing pressure. Sampa brings it ahead over half court. Sampa comes top of the key. Now Sampa looks to his left. Sampa comes over along the far sideline. Sampa bounce pass over to Christian, top of the key. Christian gets it to Powell, now over to Freisteller on the far wing. Freisteller over to Sampa. Sampa on that far wing, bounce pass trying to get it underneath to Christian. That knocked away. Bringing ahead is Abdulaziz. He goes down as collision with Juhas. Abdulaziz slow to get up. We're glad to see he's okay, as that is going to be a foul on Juhas, or foul on Pioneer, excuse me. Not foul on Pioneer. Foul on Abdulaziz. Sampa has it on the far wing, gets it over to Juhas. Juhas working his way around the arc, gets it to Freisteller. Freisteller over to Sampa. Sampa trying to work against Coling, and a whistle and a foul on Skyline. Roebuck picks up the foul. That's his first foul. 4:18 left to go here in the third. 33 for Skyline, 28 for Pioneer. Sampa inbound. Baseline right. Sampa gets it over to Freisteller, top of the key. Bounces it over to Christian on the far elbow. Back over Sampa, thought about 3. Now kicking it over to Freisteller underneath to Christian. Christian trying to get back to Freisteller, and tipped away. Last touched by Skyline. Pioneer to inbound, baseline right. Sampa again to inbound. Sampa over to Juhas on the near wing, into the near corner. Juhas trying to work his way into the paint. Juhas picked up the dribble, now kicks it over to Sampa. Sampa puts up a fall-away two-pointer, battle for it underneath. Pioneer comes up with the ball. Juhas just inside of half court. Good offensive rebounding for Pioneer. Knocked away by Potts. Whistle. 3 fouls now on Skyline, 1 on Pioneer. Freisteller inbound on the near sideline. Gets it over to Sampa. Sampa just inside of half court. Sampa now comes over on the far wing. Sampa over to Christian, top of the key. Gets it over to Powell. Powell bounce pass over to Sampa. Sampa shot from the far elbow. Hits it. Sampa with 4 points. 3-point lead by Skyline, 33-30. As that back over to Abdul Aziz for Skyline. Now over to Still trying to get into the paint, knocked away. Here comes Uhas the other direction for Pioneer. Uhas over to Sampa. Sampa, that blocked. Trying to get to it, whistle. As a block from behind by Skyline. As that is going to be Skyline ball. Foul on Pioneer, 3 fouls on Skyline, 2 on Pioneer, 3:10 left to go. Abdul Aziz bringing the ball up for Skyline. They have the 3-point lead. That kicked over to Potts coming down the near side of the paint. Whistle inside. That is going to be Uhas. Uhas picks up his 3rd foul. Skyline to inbound. Baseline left. Still 3-point lead. Skyline 33, Pioneer 30. 3 fouls apiece on both teams. That kick back over to Still. Steps back on that far wing. Now right around the far sideline. Still gets that over to Roebuck now. In that put up, and Colleen couldn't quite hit it, but a foul. Whistle blows. That's going to be on Freisteller. His first foul, 4 fouls on Pioneer, 3 fouls on Skyline. As they're trying to wipe up any moisture underneath the basket, and you hear a whole bunch of squeaking from shoes over there, a little bit more than usual. Conde comes in for Pioneer, gives Uhas a breather. Coling at the line. Shooting 2. Coling has the ball, toes the line. And first shot is up, rattles home. Coling with 7 points. Looking to make it 8. 4-point lead by Skyline, trying to make it 5. 2:50 left to go. That one is up and good. Coling with 8 points. 35 for Skyline, 30 for Pioneer. Pioneer to inbound. Baseline left. Silkworth comes in for Skyline. Freisteller inbounds to Sampa. And Abdul Aziz marking him in the backcourt. Sampa over half court. Sampa now coming over. Pasternak looks to check in at the next stoppage in play. Over to Conde, top of the key. Conde drives the far side of the paint, puts it up. That off the rim. Wouldn't go. Battle for it underneath. That will go out of bounds. That is going to be Skyline ball. Skyline with the ball in the 5-point lead. 2:30 left to go here in the third. Pasternak comes in for Pioneer. Abdul Aziz brings it up court on the near sideline. 2:25 left to go. Abdul Aziz calls out signals. Sampa watching him at the 3-point line. Over to Still on the far wing. Bounce pass, now handing it off to Still. Still gets it back over to Abdul Aziz on the near wing. Abdul Aziz comes top of the key, moves it over to Silkworth, now over. Shot, 3-pointer, that goes out of bounds. Roebuck, it hit the rim and then went over the glass. That is going to be Pioneer ball, down by 5 points. 2:04 left to go. Sampa brings it ahead for Pioneer. Sampa has Abdul Aziz in front of him. Sampa comes over half court. Sampa now bounce pass, top of the key for Christian. Christian over to Pasternak. Pasternak now over to Freisteller on the far wing. Freisteller hands it off to Sampa on the far sideline. Sampa, top of the key now, kicks it all the way over to Freisteller. Freisteller drives the lane, loses the handle, and picked up by Roebuck, heading the other direction. Roebuck over to Abdul Aziz on the near wing. 5-point lead for Skyline, and the ball, 3-pointer, as that off the rim. Pioneer with the rebound. Here comes Sampa the other direction. 1:25 left to go in the third. Sampa underneath the Freisteller. Freisteller puts it up and in. Freisteller with 9 points. 3-point game. Skyline 35, Pioneer 32. 1:12 left to go here in the third. And timeout called by Skyline. They want to talk it over. How about a message from the MHSAA?
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sport skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
1 minute, 10 seconds left to go here in the third. 35 points for Skyline, 32 for Pioneer. Skyline with the ball. They call timeout, so they'll have it to inbound right in front of the scorer's bench on the far side. Huge crowd here tonight, biggest I've seen in a long time, as both fan bases trying to extol every bit of energy to their players that they can. Inbounded, Abdulaziz has it for Skyline. Now he comes top of the key, flips that over. Pass it, got it back from Ellerson. Now Silkworth on the far wing. Silkworth picked up his dribble, hands it off over to Ellerson. Ellerson on the far sideline. Back over to Roebuck. Roebuck comes top of the key. Roebuck kicks it over to Still on the far wing. Still races down the baseline. Now Still kicks it back. There's a three-pointer by Abdulaziz off the back of the rim. Battle for it and gathered in by Ellerson. Ellerson moves it back to Abdulaziz. 36 seconds left to go here in the third. 3-point lead by Skyline and the ball. Silkworth races down the baseline, kicks it back out to Abdulaziz on the far sideline. Trying to get it over to Silkworth. Silkworth tipped from behind by Sampa and a foul. 23 seconds left to go. Sampa picks up his third foul. 5 fouls on Pioneer, 2 more, and Skyline is in the bonus. 3 fouls on Skyline. Skyline inbounds, and that goes out of bounds over to Pioneer. 22.4 seconds left to go here in the third. Skyline 35, Pioneer 32. Again, backcourt pressure by Abdulaziz. Sampa brings it ahead. Sampa comes down the far sideline, over half court. Sampa comes top of the key, gets a screen by Mutinda, now kicks it over to Strauss. Strauss, bounce pass underneath, trying to get it over to Mutinda, and pulled away. 3 seconds left to go. Trying to drive the lane is Still, wouldn't go in, off the underside of the rim. And at the end of the third, it is Skyline 35, Pioneer 32, and we head to the fourth with a 3-point lead for Skyline. Let's play a little bit of push on to get you fired up for the fourth. 8 minutes up on the clock as Pioneer looking to make a huge fourth quarter comeback. It was a 7-point lead for Skyline at the end of the first, 5-point lead for Skyline at the end of the second, and a 3-point lead for Skyline at the end of the third. Both teams looking to win the fourth quarter here. Inbounded, Juhas coming down the far side with it. Juhas bounce pass over to Mutinda. Mutinda gets that over to Powell. Powell kicks it back over to Juhas. Juhas over to Powell. Powell for 3, and he hits it. Powell with his second third-pointer. We're all knotted up at 35 apiece. Bringing it ahead is Potts. Potts over half court. Potts coming down the far sideline. Potts gets a screen from Coley, now kicks it over into the far corner for Al-Qadi. Al-Qadi gets it Over to Potts. Over to Roebuck. Trying to dribble, kicks it underneath for Potts. Potts, that off of the rim. Pulled down by Pasternak. Pasternak over to Juhas. Juhas brings it ahead. Juhas over half court. Juhas gets it over to Pasternak on the near wing. Pioneer looking to take the lead. Pasternak, that shot off of the rim. Alcott comes down with it, now coming ahead with it. Here comes Alcott, gets it over. There's a three-pointer and rattled home for Roebuck. Roebuck with his second three-pointer. Skyline back up to a three-point lead. 38-35. Here comes Juhas down for Pioneer down the far sideline, picked up by Alcott on that far sideline. Now spinning with it, Juhas picks up his dribble, gets it over to Conde. Conde down the baseline, floats one up and in. Conde with 6 points, 1 point lead for Skyline, 38-37. 6:28 left to go. Potts has it, top of the key, now drives, and that is a charge. Potts picks up his fourth foul, I believe, and Pioneer with the ball. Oh, the official's talking things over. And it's a charge. Pioneer with the ball, down one. And even more importantly, I believe, like I said, if my math is correct, and don't count on that, but I believe Potts has 4 fouls. As the scoreboard person working the book for Skyline, just asking a question. It is his 4th. I can do basic math. That one I can do on my fingers. Juhas comes down the far side, whistle. That's going to be a foul. 5th foul on Skyline now. Both teams have 5. Pioneer down. Alcott picks up his 3rd foul. Juhas has it. Being watched by Alcott. Juhas. Now bounce pass over to Mutinda, top of the key. Gets it over to Powell. Powell over to Juhas on the far wing. Juhas comes top of the key. Juhas double team. Back over to Freistaller. Into the near corner for Conde. Conde kicks it over to Juhas, top of the key. Juhas spins with it there. Working against Alcott. Juhas comes to the free throw line. Now gets it over to Conde on the near wing. Conde dribbles, comes to the near elbow. Back over to Powell. Powell, top of the key, over to Juhas. Juhas calls out some signals. Freisteller goes to his left. Juhas. That tipped and foul. As Juhas went down, that tipped away by Alcott. Juhas picks up the foul. 6 fouls on Pioneer, 5 fouls on Skyline. 1 point lead by Skyline, 38-37, and that is Juhas' 4th foul. So a couple players in foul trouble. Juhas with 4, Sampa with 3, Potts on Skyline side with 4, Coling with 3, and Alcott with 3. As Abdulaziz has it on the far wing for Skyline. Now Coling coming down. That's a travel over to Pioneer. 5:25 left to go here in the 4th. Pioneer trying to gain the lead, down by 1. They have the opportunity to take the lead with a bucket. Inbound over to Sampa, but a timeout called. As Pioneer wants to talk it over. 5 minutes, 25 seconds left to go here in the 4th. Let's hear from the MHSAA.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Next game's upcoming for Pioneer as they will be on the road to contest before the first of the year as they will be at Howell on the 22nd. That is a 7 p.m. game at Howell High School. Then on the 28th, they will be at the Motor City Round Ball Classic. Pioneer down by 1, bringing it ahead is Sampa. Sampa working against Abdulaziz. Now over to Freisteller on the near wing. Freisteller kicks it back over to Sampa on the far wing. Sampa top of the key. Sampa now bounce pass over to Freisteller. Freisteller comes to the near elbow. Freisteller comes over, shot, and it goes down for Freisteller. 11 points for Freisteller. Pioneer takes a 1-point lead. 39-38, and you hear the Pioneer crowd. Abdulaziz kicks that off over to Ellerson in the far corner. Now still has it, trying to lose it. Christian tots it away, but that goes out of bounds. Christian's fired up. The Pioneer fans are fired up. Still inbound on the far sideline. Potts comes back in with 4 fouls for Skyline. 4:50 left to go in the fourth. Pioneer 39, Skyline 38, and this is about as loud as I've heard this building. Pass back to Abdulaziz, calling out signals. Abdulaziz comes on the near wing, picked up by Freisteller. Now gets it over top of the key for Still trying to drive the lane, kicks it back over to Coling. Coling being watched by Freisteller, now drives the lane, puts it up. That off the back of the rim. Christian gets it. Here comes Pioneer with a 1-point lead and an opportunity to add to it with 4:24 left to go. Sampa brings it ahead. Sampa working against Abdulaziz. Over to Powell now. Freisteller in the near corner. Freisteller trying to work his way into the paint. That kick back, driving the lane. Over on the far side. Powell over. Freisteller on the near wing. Freisteller gets inside the arc. Freisteller trying to work his way back. Fall back to, and he hits it. Freisteller with 13. Pioneer 41. Skyline 38. Skyline with the ball. Abdulaziz on the near wing, bringing it ahead. Abdulaziz kicks it back. Now that's Still with it, trying to get it underneath. Potts and a foul underneath. 3:45 left to go here in the fourth. Conde picks up his first foul. 7 fouls on Pioneers, so that puts Skyline in the bonus. They will be shooting 1-1. 5 fouls on Skyline. 3-point lead. Potts has a chance to get it down to 1 with a pair of free throws. He bends the knees, eyes the rim, puts it up, puts it in. Potts now has 7 points, trying to make it 8 points. Potts bends the knees, puts it up, puts it in. Both good for Potts. 1-point game, 41-40. Pioneer with the lead. Timeout call by Skyline as this crowd is humming, getting ready for the final 3:45. Pioneers taking their first lead not that long ago. They have a 1-point lead. Again, some foul trouble for some players. Sampa has 3 fouls. Uhas with 4, so Pioneer with some fouls at the guard position. On the other side, 4 fouls by Potts, 3 fouls on Coling, 3 fouls on Abdulaziz, and 3 fouls on Al-Qadi. Top point getter in the game, Freisteller with 13, 9 for Christian, 6 for Conde, 6 for Powell, 4 for Sampa, 2 for Mutinda, 1 for Strauss. On the other side, it's 8 for Potts, 8 for Coling, 6 for Abdulaziz, 6 for Ellerson, 6 for Roebuck, 4 for Still, and 2 for Al-Qadi. Pioneer inbound, baseline left. Looks like full court pressure, not only Abdulaziz, but Ellerson now in the backcourt. So Sampa bringing it ahead as the press is on. Back over to Sampa from Powell. Sampa bringing it ahead. Sampa kicks that over on the far sideline, and that's stolen away by Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz into the paint, puts it up, that in, and the foul. Abdulaziz has 8, and that looks to be Sampa's fourth foul. That is Sampa's fourth foul. That is 8 fouls on Pioneer, 2 more, and Skyline will be in the double bonus. 1 point lead by Skyline. They have the opportunity to make it a 3-point lead with 3:30 left to go. Back and forth game here in the fourth quarter. Abdulaziz spins the ball, bends the knees, puts it up. And off the back of the rim. Sampa with the rebound, bringing it ahead. Sampa gets over half court. Sampa dribbles to his right. It's a 1-point lead by Skyline. Over to Freisteller. Freisteller bounce pass underneath to Christian. Christian goes up with the hook. That off the back of the rim, but gets his own rebound. Puts it up. Rolls around and down. Christian with 11. Pioneer back up by 1 with 3:05 left to go. 43-42. Here comes Skyline. Abdulaziz has it on the far wing. Kicks it over to Still. Still underneath the Potts. Potts dribbles in. That off the rim. Sampa trying to pull it down. That will be Pioneer ball with 2:50 left to go. Roebuck in for Skyline. Timeout called. We'll take it with him with a message from the MHSAA.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
2 minutes, 51 seconds left to go here in the fourth. Pioneer 43, Skyline 42. Pioneer with the ball. Skyline again with full court press on. And inbounded to Sampa. Sampa quickly ahead to Uhas. Uhas comes over half court. Uhas splits a pair. And a shot from the free throw line. Uhas hits it. His first points of the game, but few bigger. 45-42. Pioneer with the 3-point lead. Potts brings the ball up, top of the key, gets it over to Still. Still for 3. And off the rim, Potts gets the rebound. Potts loses the handle out of bounds over to Pioneer. 2:27 left to go here in the fourth. Pioneer with a 3-point lead, 45-42. They want to make it more. They want to get a little breathing room. It is up as much as a 12-point lead in the first by Skyline. Here comes Freisteller. Freisteller into the paint. Puts it up, and that ball couldn't quite get to the rim. Coming the other way is Still for Skyline. Gets it over Abdulaziz for 3. That rims out. That ball gathered in by Coling. 3-pointer, and that's in by Roebuck. Roebuck with his third 3-pointer, and it is 45-45, all knotted up. Sampa coming down the far side. Sampa working against Abdulaziz. Sampa kicks it over to Uhas. Uhas bounce pass into Freisteller. Freisteller trying to get it over. Whistle. And that is going to be on Pioneer. So Skyline to inbound the ball, all knotted up at 45 apiece, 149 left to go here in the fourth. Abdulaziz brings it ahead for the Eagles. He comes over half court. Huge defensive possession here for Pioneer, as the students extol their team to get a big stop. And comes over, 3-pointer shot off the back of the rim. Christian with the rebound. Pioneer still knotted up, and that is going to be a foul. That'll be on Still. Still picks up his first foul. That is the 6th on Skyline. As the inbound Freisteller, full court press back on for the Eagles as they have the Abdulaziz, Potts, as well as Coling in the backcourt. Freisteller looking place to go, gets it over to Sampa. Sampa brings it ahead, trying to get around Abdulaziz. Sampa gets over half court. Pioneer, the game knotted up. Pioneer trying to take the lead. Sampa coming in. Abdulaziz picks up a foul. That is his 4th foul. That is the 7th foul for Skyline. That makes it 1-1. Sampa to the line. Opportunity to go ahead by 2. But again, 1-1 if he misses the first. They're able to rebound. Sampa with it, puts up the first and hits it. Sampa with 5 points. 1 point lead by Pioneer, 46-45. Second basket coming. Sampa with a wide stance at the lane, puts it up and puts it in. 6 points for Sampa. 47 for Pioneer, 45 for Skyline. Abdulaziz brings ahead for Skyline. Skyline looking to tie or take the lead. Potts with a fallback 2 that rolls around and in. Potts has 10 points. 47-47, all knotted up. Sampa brings ahead, 47 seconds left to go. Pioneer wants to talk things over. Let's play push on and keep you fired up for the remaining 56 seconds. Boy, what a couple of amazing games we've had to cover here today. As again, it went to overtime in the JV game. Pioneer winning that game in overtime. The freshmen won. That was 39-30 in their first contest. As in the JV game, it was final 62-56. Pioneer ended up winning that one. As Pioneer comes out with a tie game, 56.8 seconds left to go. Should be a heck of a final minute of regulation. Inbounding the ball is Freisteller, gets it over to Juhas. Juhas, as he's working against Potts. Juhas coming over on the far wing, now kicks it back to Freisteller. Freisteller into the far corner, moves it over to Juhas. Juhas trying to get a little room to work. Heavily covered over there by Coling. Now Sampa on the near wing, trying to get past Abdulaziz. Sampa over to Christian. Christian back to Sampa. Sampa top of the key. Over to Juhas on the far wing. Coling watching him. Juhas just inside of half court. 26 seconds left to go. 25 seconds left to go. Juhas over to Freisteller on the far wing. All knotted up, 47 apiece. Pioneer looks like they're playing for the last shot to either win the game or take it to overtime. That back over to Powell. Now Freisteller, 11 seconds left to go. Freisteller bounces it over. Christian up. That block from behind. 5 seconds left to go. Coming the other way is still puts it up. Wouldn't go down. That is the end of regulation. A miss under the basket for Pioneer, a miss on the other side for Skyline, and we are all knotted up at 47 apiece, and we will go to overtime. Well, if it was good enough for the JV game, it's good enough for this game as we go to the first overtime. Let's play a quick message from the MHSAA, and we will be right back.
Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
4 minutes up on the clock. Excuse me, not 3. That was the JV game. 4 minutes up on the clock. 47-47. 8 fouls on Pioneer, 7 fouls on Skyline, so they're both in the bonus. Again, couple people with 4 fouls. Potts with 4 fouls, Abdulaziz with 4 fouls, Uhas with 4 fouls, and Sampa with 4 fouls. As we will have a tip-off, Ryan Steller looking to tip off, or Christian. Either one would be a great choice. So Pioneer out there with Sampa, Uhas, Christian, Freisteller, and Powell. On the other side, Skyline has Potts, Abdulaziz, Silkworth, Coling, as well as Still. Grabbed by Skyline. With the opportunity to break the tie. 3:53 left to go. Abdulaziz on the far wing. Gets that over to Coling. Coling into the far corner for Potts. Abdulaziz trying to put it up. And out of bounds. Skyline ball went off a Pioneer. As 3:44 left to go here in overtime. Skyline trying to break the tie and take the lead again. That over to Abdulaziz, who puts it up. That rebounded by Christian as that went off of the rim. Here comes Sampa for Pioneer over half court. Pioneer looking to take the lead. Top of the key. Sampa gets it over to Freisteller. Freisteller over to Uhas in the far corner. Uhas works his way around the arc. Back over to Sampa. Sampa top of the key against Abdulaziz. Sampa dribbles to his right. Trying to get some room to work. Kicks it over to Freisteller. Freisteller thought about it. Now comes to the free throw line. Kicks it back, and that out of bounds over to Skyline as that was a rocket pass. And Sampa not expecting it. Ended up in the benches. Roebuck in for Skyline. Silkworth going out. Skyline inbounds. We're still knotted up at 47 apiece. 3:11 left to go here in the overtime. Abdulaziz over half court. Sampa picks him up there. There's a three-pointer, and that in by Still. Still hits a huge three-pointer. He now has 7 points. 50 for Skyline, 47 for Pioneer. Sampa for Pioneer over half court. Sampa comes over on the far wing, gets it over to Uhas. Uhas dribbles over to Freisteller on the near wing. Freisteller over to handoff to Sampa. Sampa trying to get in top of the key. Sampa now steps over on the far wing. Lofts it over to Uhas. Uhas into the paint. Uhas puts it up and in. Uhas with 4 points now. 50-49. 1 point lead by Skyline. That's a timeout called as timeout by Skyline. As that looks like a shoe issue for Potts, as he is trying to get that shoe worked out. Ellerson comes in for Potts, and ball over to Still. Still hit the three-pointer to break the tie. Skyline with a 1 point lead. Still hands it off. Coming in Roebuck. Roebuck kicks over on the far side. Ellerson over to Abdulaziz. 2 minutes, 9 seconds left to go here in the fourth. Abdulaziz gets it over to Ellerson. Uhas watching him. Kicks it back for Roebuck for three. That off the rim. Freisteller with the rebound. Pioneer with the ability to take the lead with the two-pointer. And over. Coming down the far sideline is Sampa. Gets a screen from Christian over to Freisteller. Thought about it. Now Freisteller from the far elbow. Wouldn't go. Off the rim. Rebound by Skyline. Abdulaziz sends it ahead. Roebuck gets it back to Abdulaziz. 50 for Skyline, 49 for Pioneer. 1 minute, 33 seconds left to go. Both of these teams have battled hard. Abdulaziz over into the far corner, coming over, Still kicks it back. Ellerson for three, that off the rim, and tipped away, grabbed by Roebuck. Roebuck has it. Kicks it over to Abdulaziz. 1 minute, 16 seconds left to go. Ellerson back over to Coling. Coling steps back just inside of half court. Christian watching him. Now screen coming over. Christian works his way through the screen. Coling comes over on the far sideline. Under a minute left to go. 1 point lead by Skyline. There is no shot clock here in Michigan high school basketball, so at some point. Pioneer who's going to have to come out and put some pressure on. Coley gets it over to Ellerson. Ellerson now into the paint, floats it up, that out. Battle for it underneath, and that is going to be officials talking it over. That's going to be Skyline ball. 37.1 seconds left to go. Full timeout by Pioneer as Skyline has the 1-point lead and the ball. Pioneer with 8 fouls, so if they foul, it will be a 1-and-1 opportunity. So 2 more, and they are in the double bonus. 3 more for Skyline, they're in the double bonus. Pioneer talking things over. It's a huge call by the officials. I love to see that whether you like the call or not, they got together, they talked it over, they made a decision on a bang-bang play that was incredibly close. So it is not an easy thing to do. As both squads getting last-minute instructions, there's the buzzer. 50 points for Skyline, 49 for Pioneer. 37.1 seconds left to go. Skyline out on the court. Abdulaziz, Roebuck, Coling, Still, and Ellerson. Pioneer, Uhas, Christian, Freisteller. Abdulaziz inbounding that, put up and in as Coling now has 10 points, 3-point lead with 37 seconds left to go. Timeout Pioneer. They wanted to talk it over. So Pioneer down by 3. As Skyline quickly took it to the basket for the 3-point lead. Let's play a quick push on and get you back for the remaining 35 ticks of the clock. 35.7 seconds left to go. Skyline with the 3-point lead, Pioneer with the ball. And Coach has a decision to make. Do you try and drive quickly and try and get the 2 points, maybe a free throw? But if you make it, you're down by 1 and you need a big stop. Do you go for a 3-pointer? Obviously a low percentage shot. That's why there are coaches, and I'm just sitting here on a microphone. Freisteller gets it over to Sampa. Sampa touches the ball. Now we're going. 34 seconds left to go. Pioneer down by 3. Sampa gets it over to Uhas. Uhas just inside the far sideline. Back to Sampa, top of the key. Back over to Uhas, into the far corner. 3-pointer for Powell. That off. Skyline with the rebound. They try and fire it ahead to Still. Still up. And the dunk. And that's the exclamation point on it. Still with 9 points. 5-point lead by Skyline. Sampa picks up his 5th foul. So he is fouled out. They still have 3 points up, so I guess the foul was before the dunk. So it is a 3-point game opportunity to make it a 5-point game by Still. Skyline has 4 players back. 16.4 seconds left to go. Still puts it up, misses the front end. 3-point game, 15 seconds left to go. Uhas gets it over. Freisteller into the corner. Back to Freisteller as he is tied up, jump ball. Pioneer with the possession arrow. on the jump ball. 7.6 seconds left to go. Pioneer needs 3 points to tie the game. Juhas has it, top of the key. Juhas over to Conde. Conde back to Juhas. Juhas for 3. Oh, and just off to the side. Skyline wins, and the students storm the court. Skyline wins 52-49 as they rush the gym court and celebrate with the Skyline players as the varsity team wins 52-49. We will be back on air on Monday at 3 o'clock. James Wiseman helping to call the Pioneer men's hockey game versus Bedford. And then we'll see if we can broadcast the women's basketball game from Eastern Michigan, as we'll reach out to Eastern and see if we're allowed to do that. But otherwise, that is the last games we have until the winter break. Thank you to my cameraman, James Wiseman. My name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you so very, very much. Have a fantastic evening. Couple really exciting games. Take care.